morning. We have made it to October 29th. Oh my gosh, almost 2 whole months. That's pretty exciting. Thanks for showing up. Weird enough, but here we are. Today's reading is called Our Ability to Try. If you try to teach before you learn, or leave before you stay, you will lose your ability to try. Ew, that's pretty interesting sounding. Oh man, here we go. There are so many ways we can divorce ourselves from our own experience. I can remember as a young man fearing the pain of being hurt by love. I became endlessly involved in advising others in their struggles with love. I can remember when fearing the sadness and pain of conflict with dear ones, leaving notes rather than facing them in person. Trying to leap over the need to go through the real stuff face to face. I can remember when facing the next horrific chemo treatment, trying to anticipate and prepare endlessly for every possible instant of pain and fear, only to discover that no amount of preparation can keep me from my experience. This is deep today. Each of these separations, teaching before learning, leaving before staying, anticipating rather than entering, left me drained of my deepest resource, the energy of my life force. Removing myself, even from pain, only left me pale and unable to continue. When needle or hand or rain or sun hits the skin, the only thing to do is meet its exact touch from the inside. For this moment of inner meeting outer releases an electricity of spirit that gifts us with a tenderness for being awake. Well, you saw me raise my hand when I was reading. I always was afraid to talk to my mom or my stepdad. And part of that was, I learned to be afraid. Part of it was a definite learned fear. But I have carried that through my life until now. Shoot, I'm 49, Now the thing is, there are times when it has served me. I can write a really eloquent letter to quit a job. Or I can write a pretty nice termination letter for an employee, almost helping them to understand that it's really in both of our benefits. And now they are being given the opportunity to move on and really find their place in the world, which I believe. If it's not a fit, it's not a fit. You're both holding each other back. I think I said it earlier in the week. Go out into the world and be happy germs. Do that. Be good germs somewhere else. But now, even in my marriage, because I don't want to argue, I want to get my point across, I want to be heard. I used to write letters, and now I don't. I send Marco Polos. When there's an issue and I really need my husband to hear me, I send a Marco Polo. And if you don't know what that is, it's an app. I use it to send messages to my best friend Cheryl, and I use it to chew out my husband. I use it to address issues with my husband. And I feel like it's been hugely effective. But however, he wants that person-to-person thing. He won't let me walk away. When I've been offended or I'm angry or I'm hurt, I'm like, fuck it, I'm out of here. And he's like, oh no, you're not. So, and again, my life trained me to run away and to deal with it later, or to not deal with it at all. But he is that guy that's like, we're going to sit here and we're going to talk about it, we're going to fight about it, whatever it is, he wants it dealt with right then. So I do appreciate that in him, even though it's very hard on me because I can't get all my words out. They get stuck, and then I start crying, and then I look like I'm being emotional, and maybe I am being emotional. It's okay to be emotional, but usually I'm just so angry that I'm trying not to really let you have it, and so I start crying. You have to eventually meet those real life outer experiences with your inside, you know, those two. Gosh, I'm visualizing the syringe, you know, going into his skin for chemo, and what a horrible, if he's spending how much anxiety thinking about that and trying to practice every point of pain, how much worse that made the experience, as opposed to just going in, meeting the experience in the moment and dealing with it. So, very intense, very intense. Sit with a trusted loved one, and after centering yourselves, take turns. Let your loved one slowly place their palm on your heart. As their hand reaches and lands on your heart, practice meeting its touch with the energy of your inwardness. This is very intense. It's also a bit tantric. So I was at a beautiful sort of celebration for a dear friend of mine, and there was a lot of really interesting people there, energy workers, and just you name it. She has the best collection of friends and acquaintances ever. And one of the processes that she wanted to lead us through during the day was a tantric exercise. And no, tantric isn't always to do with sex, it's energy. So what she had us do, and there was probably at least 40 people, but it can be any amount of people. So she had us make an outer circle of people and then an inner circle of people. And we were to face each other. So here's two circles of people, the ones that are on the inside facing out, the ones that are on the outside facing in. And you would have someone standing in front of you, and you would then look at each other eye to eye, but your left eye. So left eye to left eye. And she would say, hold that, continue that gaze until you hear the bell ding. And it was like 5 minutes. And during that time, you could absolutely start to feel so much in that person and what was going on with them. And then she had us reach out with our hand. So they would reach out with, or you, whoever, you would both reach out with your left hands and put it on the other person's heart. And then with your right hand, you would put it over their hand and hold it against you and continue to look at each other, left eye to left eye, until she dinged the little bell. It was so intense and so beautiful. And I had taken a friend with me who was single at the time, and he was looking for a girlfriend. So I was like, perfect, there's going to be tons of really cool chicks there. So of course he hears, we're going to do a tantric exercise, and he's like, oh my God, is everybody getting naked? So then he ends up in this. And at first he was like, okay, cool, tons of chicks. I'm gonna get to make eye contact with tons of chicks. But there were plenty of guys in the circles too. And he was like panicking because he didn't want to not only stare another dude in the eyes, but have that man put his hand on his chest and then touch it. He was like having a total meltdown, all in his head. He didn't let me know. He was like 5 people down from me, but he was melting down on the inside. And then after he did it, he told me his whole experience, and he was like, that was so crazy and weird, and I was freaking out. But it was awesome, and he really enjoyed it. He did not find a girlfriend at that event. He is now in a relationship with a beautiful woman, and so I'm very happy for him. But yes, so big medicine in today's reading. Very big medicine in today's reading. But you know what? That's what Mark Nepo is. Mark Nepo is big medicine. So anyway, I hope you do this. Do this one. Just find someone. It doesn't even have to be a total loved one. I mean, find someone that you can just chill with and say, hey, you want to do this thing with me? It's kind of weird. I mean, Netflix and chill exists. Why can't Nepo and connection exist? You know, it can. Make it so. All right. Have an awesome day.